much until she cried. So that's how amazing she is. So let's have her here. Let's have her join with us. Okay. Let's look for her name. Dr. Shefali. Okay. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Shefali.
Hi,
I'm
can you?
good. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for having me to talk to your audience about my new book and some teachings. So I'm happy to be here.
I'm so glad and I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited to have you on my Instagram Live, and my followers and me myself. We are very, very interested and excited about the topic that we're going to talk about tonight, which is your newest book, A Radical Awakening. So
Yes,
before we talk about that, I want to ask, oh, that's the book. Yeah, mine is on the way.
yes.
Yay!
It's called
So
A Radical
congrats.
Awakening. Yes, yes. Tell me.
Yeah, so now it's 8 in the morning where you are in New York.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go jump right to the topic of our live IG now. So I want to ask you, what is a radical awakening and what is your journey on that? How is your journey? How has it been for you?
Sure. So I wrote this book really because of my own journey, but also I'm a therapist, so I help so many women. And I began to find that most of us women have the same issues all over the world. And our issues are that we feel like we need to please everybody and we need to do whatever everybody else says and we need to be quiet and we need to keep the whole family together. And while that is lovely, there's a shadow side to it. And the shadow is that in all of that, trying to be skinny, trying to be amazing, trying to be the best cook, we begin to lose ourselves. And that is a real heavy price that we pay. So this book is about recognizing that you are lost, recognizing that maybe this has happened to you, and what you can do about it to begin to really take charge of your life in a very powerful way.
Okay, so in your book, you're talking about our authentic self. What is the meaning of our authentic self, and how, along the way, as we all grew up, how did we end up losing it?
Yeah, great question. So when we were being raised by our parents and by our culture, because they were raised in the same way, they didn't wait to see us for who we were. They told us who we were. They told us how to be, who to believe in, where to go to school, how to go to school, and their approval was conditional. If we followed them, we got approved. If we didn't follow them, they got upset. It was all from their mind. And that's how we learn to wear masks, to please them, to get this approval. And many decades later, especially when a woman becomes a mother, she realizes, I don't even know who I am. And this is a universal phenomenon of this loss of self. So many women don't know who it is they are. They've lost themselves because parents and culture keep telling them who they should be. So we keep following like puppets. And then one day we realize that we have no idea how to be authentic. So this book is teaching women how to become authentic again and how to live an honest life that matches who they are, not what everyone else wants them to be.
Oh, I see. Can you share with me, the characteristics of people who lost their authentic self and the characteristics of people who have re-found their authentic self again through their own journey of transformation? Is there what's the difference between these people? Can we tell?
I don't know whether you can tell, but that person should be able to tell if I give you the characteristics. So a person who has not found their authentic self is living with anxiety, is hiding themselves, wants to say no, but cannot say no, cannot make decisions, is exhausted, is stressed out, is fatigued. You know, it feels like there's too many expectations. Also, doesn't feel good enough. Looks in the mirror, doesn't feel good enough. Goes to work, doesn't feel good enough. As a parent, doesn't feel good enough. That is the key. And for a person who now discovers their true self, they begin to feel amazing about themselves. They feel like they can speak their truth. They're not afraid as they used to be, because they don't need other people's approval anymore. They have become more comfortable with their own self. So I think you can tell, but at least that person can tell. Like, I can tell how much less anxious I am. I can tell how little I care about people's opinions, and that has freed me. So that's the difference, you know.
Right. So, as people are transforming to become awakened, there are many, many challenges, like breaking free from, like, quitting expecting other people's validations and approval, especially the one who are closest to them, and losing friends, losing people around them who are not in the same frequency as them, who doesn't have the same mission and desire to be awakened. So how do you navigate through these challenges? Because it must be so lonely and terrifying, I guess. How is your own, how about you? How was your journey on that part?
Uh, it's it is that you will lose the people who are not on your frequency, and so that feels scary. But it's lonely for a little bit. But let me explain that. You begin to realize you would rather be alone, not lonely. You're alone. See, now when you're on this journey, you found yourself. So you're never really lonely. You're alone, but you're not lonely. So you then realize, you know what? I'd rather be alone than in a room full of people who don't understand me and I don't understand them. I don't want to be in a room full of people where I'm pretending. So you begin to trade off. But yes, you do lose people because you no longer can fit their expectation of you. So they leave you. It's not you leave them, they leave you. And that's where it gets tricky, because when you watch them leaving you, you feel terrified because you're like, oh, maybe I should not change. Maybe I should go back. And they kind of exploit that. You know, they're like, we won't love you anymore. You know, we don't like how you're being too loud, you're being too noisy, you're leaving me. They don't like that because you and them have been so enmeshed, and now you're leaving. And so it scares you, you know. But you have to understand that this is part of the journey, that you will lose the people who have kept you at a lower vibration.
Right. So, I used to have this question, what about if these people are the closest ones in our life? For example, if they're maybe our spouse, our parents, but if I may share, according to my own journey of transformation, I experienced several moments, a while, creating distance between me and my loved ones. It just had to happen like that. But then after I love myself, I give love to myself enough, I educate myself, I do things that fulfill myself, I can go back to them and then have them told me that they're inspired by my own journey, by my own sovereignty, and that inspires them to also go through their own journey of transformation. So
Yeah,
that is
that can
amazing.
happen. Right, that often happens, but I'm just saying that if it doesn't happen, it's okay. It's normal. It's okay. Everybody can't be inspired. Everybody can't love you. But as you begin to love yourself, you are okay with that. You're like, I understand. And you don't have anger or hatred, you understand.
Right. I have so many questions, like, poof, like I want to ask all of them. And this is so exciting. So my next question is, after you realize that you have awakened, does it like, do you stay there? Does it always like, I'm always happy, I'm always enlightened, I'm always inspired, everything is rainbow, I'm in the clouds and stuff like that, I'm never challenged anymore? What is it like in that stage?
It's not 100% like that, but it's pretty much more powerful than you've ever been, because now you know that even if you fall, even if you forget and you get anxious again because you forgot and you want other people to give you approval again, when you go down like that in your energy, you can catch yourself, and now you know that okay, it's okay, and then you can come back. So your lows are not as low and your highs are higher. So it's not like you're on this pendulum. It's just a different state of energy. You wake up more energetic because nobody's expectations are pulling you down. You are in the driver's seat, right? So that feels really empowering.
Right. So I myself, I've been lately, I've been feeling like I'm in a transition in my life. So I've been working in the entertainment industry. I've been working as an actress and a singer since I was 5 years old. So that nature of looking for approval and validation from external environment around me was like so ingrained in me. And I feel like in the past 5 years, I think I've been looking at myself and realizing that I no longer need validate. I don't want to be that person anymore who needs validation to feel enough. And another thing that I realized is that I need to set healthy, loving boundaries. And you talk about that in your book as well, about boundaries. Can you touch on that a bit and share about that?
Well, I'm just loving this conversation. You are just, I just have to say, I didn't know you till now, till this moment. And you're just so intelligent and insightful, and you're asking me the best questions ever.
Oh,
I just want to say, I'm just like, sometimes you don't know how someone is. Everyone watching, I'm just meeting her for the first time. And I'm just like, wow, you're just on point. I'm so happy we reached out to each other. So, um, you as a child actress, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine how you grew up. You were an instrument to make other people happy, from a young age. So now you have to claim yourself. And yes, boundaries is the biggest part, because young girls, especially young actresses or talented people, we become puppets. So our strings are attached to other people. We don't have boundaries. They're like, smile, we smile. Be happy, we're happy. Be nice, we're nice. So we don't have internal boundaries. And especially then, the third thing for us is people from our culture. It's very, very traditional cultures where it's patriarchal. So forget it. I don't know how you're even this amazing and strong. So it's boundaries are the key. And most of us women are scared to say no.
mhm.
And because we think that means we are not loving enough, we're not caring. The word no is an evil word. We were told to say yes.
Yeah.
So as we awaken, we realize that when we say yes all the time, we're saying no to ourselves. And an awakened person must love themselves first. And I know we've been trained the opposite. To be a loving person is to love everyone else. But I am teaching in this book that you're not really loving other people when you're not honest and authentic. So to be authentic means to learn to ask yourself, is this yes coming from an authentic place? Or I'm just pretending because I don't want to make daddy upset, or I don't want to make my husband upset. And we have to keep questioning and asking ourselves to have the courage to learn to say no. Saying no is something sacred that you are doing for yourself to then love other people more. Even starting, I remember I was terrified of saying the word no. My daughter had to teach me. She's like, Mom, it's only two letters, N and O. I'm like, I know, but I can't say it. So I used to say things like, I'll get back to you later, or
Mm.
let me think about it. I couldn't say no because I felt I wanted to make people happy so much. That was my training. And it took me forever to say, and then I used to lie. I'm busy. I'm ill. I would say everything, but no. And
To
then I
postpone.
realized, what?
To postpone saying no.
Because I didn't want to hurt people. But I realized that I was actually diminishing those people, treating them like children, like they couldn't handle it. Because most people can't handle it, really, actually. But you have to teach them to handle it. And so I learned then to say, I would love to do it, but I can't. I'm sorry. And I used to be so scared, waiting for the earthquake, but because I didn't want people to be upset with me. It was like, this is what we women have to change. We're so ingrained to not we're so uncomfortable when people are upset. But then I realized that when you don't teach people the boundaries, they walk all over you. And why shouldn't they? It's like a kid in a candy shop. Okay, I'll keep taking. So for me personally, when I got abused enough, like people stealing from me, taking from me, abusing me, one day I was like, maybe I need to wake up. Maybe I need to stop. Like, how much can I allow people to take from me? But it took a lot for me to wake up to say, maybe I need to defend myself. What an interesting idea. Then I got angry with my mother because I was like, you didn't teach me anything? She's like, it's not my fault. And I was like, you're right. It's not your fault because you were the most amazing. I lost you for a second.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So then I wanted to blame
Can you
people,
hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm losing you for a moment.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Wait, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I
Yes.
can hear you.
So then when you wake up, you typically want to blame someone. Why did you mess me up so much? But then you realize that there's no one to blame because we're all growing and we're all learning. So I then had to take responsibility that I need to teach myself what my mother couldn't teach me. And when I learned, like you said, she learned. Then my father got upset with me. What's happened to your mother? She's becoming so strong. She's saying no to me all the time. So I said, Dad, get used to it. We women are becoming strong. So it's a ripple effect, but it shakes up the system.
Wow, that's so powerful. And nowadays, many people in the world are more and more into this realm of personal growth and awakening, but not everyone is in. And what is you wrote a book about a radical awakening. What my question is, what is the urgency? What is do we need to be awakened? What is the urgency to be awake?
Yes, we need to be awake right now because we had to be awake yesterday because we are destroying the earth. The earth is destroyed and we are destroying our children because we are putting so much pressure on our children and we are raising generations of anxiety and pressure and stress and depression and attention deficit. We are in trouble as a species. And I give power to the woman in this book because we women are raising the families, we're raising the children. But if we are not in our power, then we will allow toxic males, not all men, but toxic males to rule the world. And right now, the world is being ruled by toxic males. And they need to be counterbalanced by powerful females. And women are being subjugated. So this book is my passion for women to read because it will wake them up and at least they'll raise their sons and their daughters differently. And that's where we have power in because we are raising the children.
Yes. So the key to waking up the next generation is on the parents. Won't you agree?
Yes. And
Yes.
mostly the woman, whether we like it or not, the mother is kind of around the most. So she has tremendous power to change, So I used to tell myself, I may not be able to change my life so much, but I can change the script in my daughter's mind. And I did. I think I've changed her script. Not that I've raised a perfect person, but I've at least cut the pattern, you know. And
Right.
this is what I teach, is how do you break the pattern. You may not change the pattern for your own life, but can we break the pattern for our children's lives?
So how do you break, can we break our own limiting, unhealthy patterns?
Yes, that's what
And
this
how
book
do
is
we
all
do that?
about. That's what
That,
this book is all about, is to first you have to wake up to the fact that you've been asleep. First you have to wake up to go, oh my God, I'm anxious every day. Oh my goodness, I'm scared of this person in my life. I'm scared of this person in my life. Oh my goodness, I'm pretending. You have to realize that you are in some sort of mess. And that's why I love children, because typically when we become parents and we don't know what to do with our children, that's when you go get help. But you think you're going to fix your kid, and then you realize, if you came to me, that you have to be fixed, you know? So first you have to realize there's a problem. You know, like every alcoholic has to admit that he has a problem. If you don't accept you have a problem, there's no problem. So first we have a problem. Then we have to do the work. It's called the inner work. You have to read books like mine. You have to take courses. I have tons of courses. By the way, I'm doing a 10-day course on this book.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, and it's going into this book. It's online. It's for life. You get the recording for life. So if your audience wants to try it out, I can give a discount code to your audience. So I'll
Wow,
send
that's
you.
awesome.
Yeah, I'll send you a
So
discount
how
code.
can my audience get a discount code?
I'm going to give you a special one because your rate of conversion is different. So I'm going to give you a good discount code. Okay. Um,
Awesome.
thank you. And when we realize we've been in trouble, then we have to go get help to do this inner work. And when we do this inner work, we then realize our patterns from childhood, and then we begin to break them. So in part 2 of this book, I write about the main patterns that we women have and how to break out of it. So it's some work. It doesn't happen just like that. You know, you have to do some work, just like you have to go to the gym, just like you have to go to acting class. You have to go to baseball lessons. You have to take lessons from an expert or a coach to understand your patterns. But there is a way to break free. I've broken free so many limiting belief systems. Oh my God, I had so many from India, and I had to keep breaking them down.
That is interesting. I can so relate to that. So I want to ask you another question. In my own journey of transforming myself to improve myself in my quality of, in my personality, spiritually, emotionally, I find myself, I studied a lot. I go to a lot of workshops. I go to counseling, seminars, and other learning facilities, stuff like that. But sometimes, many times, I can find myself still struggling in my personal relationships. Why our relationships are the place we most lose ourselves? Why is that?
Yeah, because
It's
the
such a
other,
big mirror, that you cannot avoid.
yes, it's like everywhere you look is the mirror, but also the other person brings their total garbage from childhood, right? So they're dumping on you,
Yeah.
you're dumping on them, and it's like hard to see, you know? So that's why intimate relationships really bring up a lot. But if you understand, it's hard in an intimate relationship. If one is not super conscious, you're going to get pulled down because the drama of each person's childhood baggage is so much. So person A is telling person B, I want you to see me. And person B is telling person A, but I want you to be my daddy. And the person A, well, you be my mommy. So it's impossible, you know.
Oh my gosh, yes. That
And
is very
everyone is like,
familiar. Yeah.
me. I call them twin beggars, you know, each one is begging. We're not loving, we're begging. I'm right, right? I'm right. I'm better. I'm amazing. Do you love me? You know, it's all about me.
Right. So this reminds me of another powerful point on your book that you shared, which is the queen energy. Can you share more about that?
So we women have been kind of trained to be kind of the puppets and the minions, you know, in the soldiers in the army of the men, of the patriarchy. And we are always at the back of the line, you know, at the bottom of the pile, because we put ourselves there. You know, we think that's what it means to be a good person. I used to think that's what it meant to be a good person. Put everybody before me. I'm amazing because I put everybody before me till I burnt out, you know? And so stepping into your queen energy is to realize you're not at the bottom of the pile. So stop it. And you're not a good person by putting yourself down. That's not what a good person is. And when I began to change that idea of good, then it was a revolution. I was like, that's not good. I thought that was how to be a good person. And it was like a wake up call that I am being an idiot. You know, I am being a fool. I am hating myself. And the revolution is this life is so important. And I am so important to me. And I missed that lesson in school. I thought everyone else was important. So that revolution brings out what I call the queen energy, which is where you become comfortable of having the throne. Doesn't mean the other you will have the throne and I will have the throne. I'm not taking away your throne, but I'm not giving up mine anymore. And so we can all be queens and we can all be kings, but I'm going to be a queen. And taking power back and not feeling shy to be big. You know, we've been taught that be quiet. Why? So when we shift that energy, it's very scary for everyone around us because they've been so used to us being quiet. But slowly you teach them, I do have a voice, I do have an opinion. What I feel matters to me, and I'm going to make it matter for myself. So if you can't honor that, I understand, but I'm going to honor that. And that is the queen energy, where the queen honors herself.
Wow, that is beautiful. And as a woman who has entered her queen energy, who has become more conscious and more awakened, how do we support the males in our life properly, healthily, lovingly, and not seeing them as like there's a lot of misunderstanding about the concept of feminism where we see male as our enemy somehow. But I believe that your book talks and empower women so much, but it also at the same time teaches women to empower men. So how do we do that as a conscious woman who has entered her queen energy?
Right. We are compassionate towards the men because we realize they also were conditioned to be idiots or jerks or not listen or talk over you or interrupt you. They didn't know that they needed to be in their heart. So we have to teach them to be in their heart. And we need to say, hey, you know, I don't know who you're talking to right now, but I need you to get into your heart. I don't know who you're trying to control right now because I'm not going to be controlled. Let's get into your heart. So now, you know, when men talk, when I'm talking, and men will tell me, oh, you have such beautiful eyes, or you have such beautiful whatever, I gently tell them, thank you so much. But what I really need from you is for you to hear my words and not look at my physical body. Thank you so much. But I need you to listen to my words. That's how you can honor me. And we can teach men to listen to us, to honor us, to back off from the pressure when we step into our power. And then we don't have to do it with anger or with hatred. We do it with respect, with compassion, but we check them. Men need to be checked, okay? Because men have gone unchecked. But we check them with love, with compassion, and we check ourselves. We need to be checked. We're ridiculous in how we allow them to do whatever they want. So we need to check and we need to check them. Hey, and we need to teach our young boys, who are you talking to like this? who are you, who are you controlling? And we need to check ourselves, and women need to check each other, because we are so mean to each other. You know who gives me the most comments about my wrinkles? Women, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a whole system that needs to wake up.
Wow. This has been very, very powerful, Shefali. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you joining me tonight. Morning
Thank you.
time in your time. So for all of you, my viewers, and Dr. Shefali as well, Dr. Shefali's followers, if you want to know more about Shefali's work or enroll to her online course, how do we contact you?
So this is the book. You can get it at aradicalawakening.com. You can buy the book or buy the 10-day course. And I'm going to give you a discount code. You can post that later. And I'm going to give you the course for free, because you're amazing. And you
Thank
are
you.
just such an empowered woman. And we need women like you in that part of the world. So it's a 10-day course. It's online. It's to teach women to be powerful and strong. And they get the recording for life. And I believe they get 3 books included in the price. So my
Wow.
only fear is, how will it reach where you are? But if people are willing to take a risk, they can get the books as well. And I'm going to give you a discount. So if the books don't reach, you won't be mad at me. But thank you for having me. You're a pleasure. And you're such a role model for other women. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I believe your book is going to shine a light on many hearts, many souls, many spirits, and God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sweetie. Bye,
everyone, for
everyone.
watching. Bye.